Hello everyone, let me introduce DC number 7 from MuSIC project. A colleague of mine, a good friend of mine, Mohammad Salehi. So Mohammad, welcome to Perugia officially. No?
Thank you so much, Puneet. Yeah, as Puneet said, I'm Mohammad Salehi, and let me introduce myself a little bit. I'm a PhD student at the Cyprus Institute, and Perugia is officially my first secondment. I arrived here 4 days ago. Here I will work mostly with Benedetta, and my project is about control system. My bachelor was about chemical engineering, and I've studied in University of Isfahan University of Technology, and then for master I changed a little bit my field toward the energy systems, and I studied at the University of Tehran. My master thesis was about building energy system, and generally my PhD is continuation of my master. Then you know
Well,
better.
what could be perfect than this if you are continuing your research?
Yeah.
So, first let me ask you, Mohammad, how was your stay in Perugia so far? Because it's a new city for you, you are traveling here for the first time, I guess.
Yes. This is my first time that I come to Italy, and the first day was really tough. Coming from Cyprus, we went to Athens, from Athens to Rome, and then from Rome we took 2 trains to arrive to Perugia. It took around 13-14 hours.
Yeah,
It was hectic.
I guess it was worthy enough to travel this long journey to have this, this discussion.
I was thinking about having a secondment, and I was thinking.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah, of course, yeah.
Yeah, maybe this is the reason. Now you find a good. Okay, so may I ask you about your project? Yeah, I mean you're working on an individual project number 7 under MuSIC. Maybe you please help us to elaborate your project.
Yes. My project is about control. I'm developing a control system which considers occupants' multi-domain comfort and building energy consumption. Initially, my project was about developing a MPC or model predictive system, but then we tweaked it and we changed it toward MLC or machine learning based control. We are having sensors in different offices, both here in Perugia and in Cyprus at the Cyprus Institute. We are covering 4 offices in Cyprus and 2 in University of Perugia and 1 in EValTech. We are collecting subjective data through the sensors, and at the same time we are asking occupants to fill up the questionnaire. And the questionnaire is for 2 weeks each season and 3 times a day. I'm sending a reminder to the occupants to fill up the questionnaire, and then I'm doing the data analysis based on both subjective and objective data. Based on these objective and subjective data, I'm developing a classifier, a machine learning classifier. And since I have the labels and the features, it's a supervised classifier. And I found that GBM model works better than other models. I worked on random forest, SVM, linear regression, and GBM overperformed. Right now in Perugia, I'm trying to take this opportunity to use the actuators in EValTech to assess the effect of the actuators on indoor environmental variable, which would be a core of the control system. And that's it.
Yeah, you included a few technical details. So
You want to okay.
No, I think you already did.
Mm-hmm.
So I was just asking from a general audience point of view, but you extended your description, and that is even better. Thank you.
Yeah.
So how do you think? Your work gonna help our society, let's say, how it gonna help research community, what objective you wanted to achieve while working on this this project?
I did literature review, and in the literature review, I noticed the control system that has been developed so far. They didn't consider all four domain of the occupant's comfort. Especially, they didn't work on visual and acoustic. And acoustic comfort is so tricky, and there was a paper which was asking the occupants in the office building to assess which domain is the main issue for them and the main cause of discomfort. And they noticed after having the space issue, for example, the small space, the second one was noise, which is related to acoustic. But in the literature review, the control system, they didn't consider acoustic comfort. I think if I can do whatever that I planned, it would be a good control system which considers occupants, all the domain of the comfort of the occupants, and acoustic comfort as a second discomfort. So if I can proceed, it would be something not only for in the research but also for the normal people that they can use this control.
Yeah, exactly. And what is your plan for your secondment? As you're gonna spend, I think, 3 months here.
3 months.
So what exactly you're going to do during these 3 months? Kind of a checklist, if you already have something in mind.
Yes. And as I said, I have control system, and this control system has one input from building energy use and one input from occupant's comfort. So this control system will adjust the actuators. So right now I'm working on this control system that adjusts the actuator in order to adjust the actuators. Right now we didn't have the actuators in the Cyprus Institute, but here we have. I want to see the effect of the actuators on indoor environmental variable, which is temperature, humidity, illuminance, and generally everything that sensors can measure. So in this period, I want to assess the effect of these taking actions on the indoor environmental variables.
Nice. And so you are here also today performing the experiment. Now you want to ask a few things about the experiment?
Yeah.
I understood that you had some curiosities or maybe questions.
Yes, I had the curiosity to ask you before, but since I didn't want to be biased, I wanted to ask that after that I performed the experiment. What's the objective of your experiment and what you want to achieve?
Well, Mohammad Salehi is asking about this particular experiment which I'm performing at the moment in our laboratory here in Chirif. So I'm trying to understand the physiological reaction of humans while they are performing a particular task. In this experiment, I'm trying to focus the neurological reaction from left and right hemisphere point of view. Our brain have different codes, and these codes, let's say, is separated in left side and right side. When we do particular task, let's say auditory task, which was kind of a first task, and then you were also performing some optical illusion task, which was second task. For those particular tasks, our left hemisphere or right hemisphere get more activated. So the reaction is coming from more reaction is coming from one particular area of this brain. Objective is to identify if these kind of tasks which are more responsible to activate a particular side of brain more, we are trying to understand how it affects their physiology under a controlled environmental condition. Here we have controlled temperature, controlled photometric conditions, and then we are trying to make different photometric condition, at least from photometric point of view, but then having all these things at normal temperature. When I say normal temperature, it should be normal according to that particular climate season or whatever human feel normal. So yeah.
And one follow-up question. So the normal temperature for me, it's different than yours. So how do you assess what is normal?
We are using matrices from, I think it was University of Berkeley. So we try to understand what clothing level normal human wear, what season, and so on. So we understood that this 22-23 degree temperature is could be said normal at this particular climatic condition. So that was the way to understand. Yeah, so you should not feel cold, not feel warm. That in general, I mean, to normal audience, we can say if you're not feeling cold, not feeling warm, that's the normal condition. But again, this is very contradictory that it cannot be a universal normal for everyone. So we have to consider a range, pretty much normal for large population, and that's how we have to choose it.
Okay. Thank you for the explanation. And what knowledge gap did you find for this specific project that you are doing?
Well, things have been done from different perspective. How brain react, these studies have been conducted by different laboratories, but we are trying to do it from building physics point of view, where we have controlled environment. I mean, the context is very important, and what we are adding here is the context of environmental condition, and then combination of performing those particular tasks which are more influential on that particular area of brain. What extra, I mean, I want to add, what more we are adding here is this acoustic stimuli. We were using alpha waves and gamma waves for our experiment, if you notice. The first time it was alpha wave and second time is gamma wave.
40 hertz.
Yeah, 40 hertz. So gamma waves range between 30 to 50 hertz, or maybe beyond. But for humans, 50 hertz is more or less the limit.
Okay, and what is the purpose of this alpha and gamma waves?
So basically, our brain brain waves are categorized into alpha, beta, gamma, theta, and delta. So the range, normal human brain can emit signal between 0 to 100. 100 is too extreme, but I would say 100 to 0 to 50. So the waves are categorized in this range of delta between 0 to 3, then alpha, beta, gamma, delta, then theta between 3 to 8, alpha 8 to 13, and then beta and gamma 30 to 40. So what it means when our brain emits signals in this frequency, that means that particular wave is active. Next question may be, how do you understand that this particular wave is being emitted, and why it is happening? Because I mean, one way to understand is that our energy level, our body reaction, these are changing. So there must be some low, high, less, more kind of thing. When we are feeling sleepy, when we are feeling more excited, when we are feeling more aggressive, when we are feeling more calm, these all things are happening because of some kind of waves. I call it a vibration of any two particles. If you are chemist, for you particle may be atom, but if you are building physics, particle may be human action and human brain, human body and building space, I mean the indoor space. But I like it generalizing it, the interaction between two particles. And when there is an interaction, there is a vibration. Like we are discussing, I'm able to hear you, you are able to hear me, because there is this interaction between two particles and my voice is reaching to you. This is some kind of same physics happening in our brain as well, when some different kind of particle. Here another thing is magnitude or intensity, at what intensity. these things help our brain to emit signal at different frequency, and these frequencies are responsible for different kind of exposure, experience, emotion, reaction, whatever you want to call it. Yeah.
It's very nice, very nice. Thank you for the explanation. I have zero knowledge about the neurology, so that's why this explanation was so new for me. And
But this field is really interesting. There are so many things to learn, there are so many things to try, to understand. I'm not surprised that our brain is still a black box.
Yeah.
Although there are a lot of research going on, but still we are far from saying that we know 50% of things of brain. I don't know, 50%, whatever, what percentage. But this small hidden box which we call a brain, which is functioning unit of human, this is so fascinating, and it makes me keep motivated to know more about. I mean, what I'm trying to do here is something very simple and very ordinary thing, but then research can help us to connect the dots, try to connect the results from one perspective to different perspective. So that's what make me excited towards this direction of our research. Although it is in context of building physics, but then human is the center, isn't it? And then we have to understand how this something which we are calling human, how this interaction is going on. I may say it like this, that I am taking it to further micro level. When building physics, I'm not the expert of building physics, and I am maybe something I say may not be correct, but my understanding, my limited understanding, is that building physics is in general is about interacting two different things, that is buildings and humans. I'm trying to understand the interaction of human physiology with building physics. So from human side, I'm trying to go one step further and trying to know how this something called physiology is reacting to this something called building physics. We can ask people always, we use subjective feedback a lot, but then human can be biased. That's a limitation of subjective feedback.
yeah,
But what about physiology? Your physiology cannot be biased. At least it can't be biased at that level of subjective feedback. I'm not saying it is 100% unbiased, but your emotions are true, no?
yeah.
You cannot fake them. You can say them
Yeah.
correctly, but you cannot fake them.
For example, when you are filling out this questionnaire, you can manipulate your brain in order to convince yourself, okay, I'm satisfied right now. While in the physiology, you cannot. Because
Yeah.
your brain.
So what about bypassing this subjective step and directly asking this to your physiology?
Yeah.
So it
To make it less biased, at least.
Yeah.
Definitely less biased.
So we need some automation here, that a system can be able to interact with your physiology, because world is moving towards advanced technologies, automation, but we humans are still, I mean, we are making machines more advanced, but we humans ourselves, if we really want things to be happen from our inner side, then this physiology, and especially our brain signals, neurology, that is what something has to be, we need to do a lot of work still. I mean, there are a lot of work going on, but then there are a lot of work to be done. So I mean, that's also the theme of my project, which I really liked, neurological perception. So these two words, neurological perception. I mean, I would like to have a separate discussion some other day about these two words, neurology and perception. So fascinating, so fascinating. I love knowing more, speaking more, discussing more about just these two words, neurology and perception.
Yeah, you are so eager and enthusiastic. I can see.
Yes. Yeah. It is motivating for me. It is motivating. So, any other curiosity, suggestion, question?
No. Thank you. I already gave some suggestions, and thank you for having me.
It is my pleasure.
Yeah.
You are here and having this discussion, and I hope people will find something interesting in our conversation.
I hope, yeah.